A hearty welcome to each and every one of you. Before we go into the next session of our program, we'll take the bhajan Pujane Prabhu, after which by Devnath Singh, our president, will take the program from there because he will be chairperson for today. And the program is very simple, and it will have one session today which will last 45 minutes. After that, we'll sing a few bhajans more, and then we'll serve lunch and conclude. Pujane Prabhu Hamare.
पूजनीय प्रभु हमारे भाव उज्ज्वल कीजिए। पूजनीय प्रभु हमारे भाव उज्ज्वल कीजिए। वंदना हम कर रहे। नाथ करुणा रूप करुणा, नाथ करुणा रूप करुणा, आपकी सब पढ़ रहे। पूजनीय प्रभु हमारे, भाव उज्ज्वल कीजिए। छोड़ देवे छल कपट को, छोड़ देवे छल कपट को, मानसिक बल दीजिए। पूजनीय प्रभु हमारे, भाव उज्ज्वल कीजिए, भाव उज्ज्वल कीजिए।
Namaste and welcome to everyone to today's session of our Havan Yajna. We are about to begin the second session. However, we will have a few bhajans before I ask Panditji to continue with the yajna. I would also like to thank Pandit Bhairu for performing this morning Havan Yajna. First of all, we will have a bhajan by Mahashe Boni. Mahashe. After that, we will have one bhajan by Bahin Savika. And then another bhajan by Bhai Ramesh. And then I'll hand over to Panditji to give the Havan Yajna.
गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु गुरुर्देव महेश्वरा गुरु साक्षात् परम ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरु ये नमो नमः। धर्म कर्म का लूट है, सो जाएगा सो लूट। अंतकाल पछतावेगा कि प्राण रहे जा छोड़। सूर्य देव जग दीपते, जिनका जय जग साजे। सात यश्व का रथ पर साजे, पायन अरुण विराजे। सूर्य देव जग दीपते, जिनका जय जग साजे। सात यश्व का रथ पर साजे, पायन अरुण विराजे। सात यश्व का रथ पर साजे, पायन अरुण विराजे। उनके कुल दीप रामना घर घर जय जय गाजे। तुम उनके कुल दीप रामना घर घर जय जय गाजे। गूंज उठे मैं देश सारा कार्तिक चंका बाजे। गूंज उठे मैं देश सारा कार्तिक चंका बाजे। सूर्या देव जग दीप तेजने का जय जय जग साजे। साठ यश्व का रथ पर साजे। पायन अरुण विराजे। कठिन तपस्या भागरथी जी श्री गंगा जी को लाए। कठिन तपस्या भागरथी श्री गंगा जी को लाए। गौ ब्राह्मण प्रतिपाल भूप का तिलक राज कहाए। गौ ब्राह्मण प्रतिपाल भूप का तिलक राज कहाए। धन वीर हरिश्चंद्रा निप्रजी सतिया सेवा व्रतधारी। धन वीर हरिश्चंद्रा निप्रजी सतिया सेवा व्रतधारी। पौत्र नारदी ये बेसत्यापन बन गए आप भिखारी। पौत्र नारदी ये बेसत्यापन बन गए आप भिखारी। सूर्या देव जग दीप के जिनका जय जग साजे। सात यश्व का रथ पर साजे। पायना अरुण विराजे। सात यश्व का रथ पर साजे। पायना अरुण विराजे। दशरथ जी देहत जा पर बचन नहीं सज पाए। दशरथ जी ना देहत जा पर बचन नहीं सज पाए। तुम उनके कुल प्राण जगत में। तुम उनके कुल प्राण जगत में के नित दिन गुण गावे। तुम उनके कुल प्राण जगत में जिनके नित दिन गुण गावे। रघुराज की गौरे गाता कोई नहीं बिसराए। रघुराज की गौरे गाता कोई नहीं बिसराए। राम राज की भारत में तुम। राम राज की भारत में तुम सुख शांति बरसाओ। राम राज की भारत में तुम सुख शांति बरसाओ। सूर्या देव जग दीप दे जिनका जय जग साजे। सात यश्व का रथ अरुण विराजे साज यश्व का रथ पर साजे पायन अरुण विराजे।
Thank you very much, Bhai Boni. You have set the tone for us this morning, which is a reminder of Radio Damarar's famous local Indian performers. Those of you who were fortunate to listen to Radio Rapar and Radio Suriname, to the local singing that we used to enjoy in Guyana. I will now ask Bahin Savika to render the second bhajan. Bahinji.
पुष्प वैदिक वाटिका के खिल गए पुष्प वैदिक वाटिका के खिल गए देश को स्वामी दयानंद मिल गए पुष्प वैदिक वाटिका के खिल गए
Thank you very much, Bahin Savika. By now, all of you know that no one from the Subik family needs any special introduction. Just by listening to them singing is enough. So I will now ask Bhai Ramesh to render his bhajan. Those of you who were following Bahin Savika in the Atma Geet must have realized that there was one verse that she sang that's not in your book. For some reason it was left out. Fortunately, she has it in her book. Written in, not typed in.
मली चादर ओढ़ के कैसे मली चादर ओढ़ के कैसे द्वार तुम्हारे आऊं ए पवन परमेश्वर मेरे मन ही मन शर्माओ मैली चादर ओढ़ के कैसे द्वार तुम्हारे आऊं हे पावन परमेश्वर मेरे मन ही मन शर्माओ मैली चादर ओढ़ के कैसे तूने मुझको जग में भेजा देकर निर्मल काया आकर के संसार मैंने इसको दाग लगाया जन्म जन्म की मैली चादर अब क्या दाग चुराऊं मैली चादर ओढ़ के कैसे द्वार तुम्हारे आऊं मैली निर्बल वाणी पाकड़ तुझसे नामन तेरा गाया निर्मल वाणी पाकड़ तुझसे नामन तेरा गाया नैन मूंद कर हे परमेश्वर कभी ना तुझको ध्याया मन बिना की तारी तूते अब क्या गीत चुराऊं मैली चादर ओढ़ के कैसे द्वार तुम्हारे आऊं मैली चादर ओढ़ के इन पैरों से चल कर तेरे मंदिर कभी न आया इन पैरों से चल कर तेरे मंदिर कभी न आया जहाँ जहाँ वो पूजा तेरे कभी ना शीश झुकाया ही हर हर में हारत आया अब क्या हार चुराऊं मैली चादर ओढ़ के कैसे मैं विचार बोल के कैसे
Maili Chadar, in this bhajan, many questions are asked. And the last paragraph says, never have my 2 feet led me to the temple of your worship, nor have I ever bowed my head in acknowledgement of people engaged in your worship. O God, now in this 60th year of my life, I am completely ruined. What gift of life can I now present to you? I will now ask Pandit Sama Persaud, to continue with our Ved Yajna. Those of you who were here last night must have heard him saying he's 77 years old, and I would like to congratulate him that even at this age he's doing Ved Prachar. Many of us who are 1/3 his age and much younger find very little time to do any religious work. So I would like you to bear that in mind. I now hand you over to Panditji.
अपने प्रभु से ओम महेचन त्वां द्रिवा परा शुक्लवाय देवाय न सहस्राय न न्यूयाय वज्रो न शताय शत मध्यम परम पिता ओ ग्रेट गॉड समस्त संसार मिल जाए if I can get the whole world, it's kind of falling down. यदि आप प्राप्त ना हुए तो ये सब व्यर्थ है. And if I cannot realize you even a little, निष्प्रयोजन है. All the rest I have is nothing. भगवान 100 mean 100, sahastra, 1000, या लाख, 100,000, या करोड़, 10 millions के बदले में तुझे ना त्यागे. May I not forget you. यही मेरी प्रार्थना है. सहस्त्र in the mantra, शताय, शता मध्य. You have a very popular mantra. This is from the Rig Veda, 815. A very popular mantra from everybody's mouth nearly now. Stuta Varda Veda Mata. You'll find that is from the Atharvan Veda. And you'll find it in the one we have in a 2-volume, page 179. But if you go in the Ved you'll find something Devta of the mantra, the subject matter. And the subject matter is Gayatri. And when you see Ved Mata, in this, it does not mean Mother Ved, the mother of the Ved. And the mother of the Ved is Gayatri. Anything you want in this world, ask Gayatri. Live it up, and it can be given. Ved by itself is masculine. But the Vidya in there is feminine. But Ved by itself, that where other books nearly they are all feminine, but Ved is masculine. Mr. Bhoni, at the beginning, Guru Brahma, for beginners. My Guru is Brahma, is Vishnu, Mahesh. When you grow higher, Brahma is my Guru, Mahesh is my Guru, Uma is my Guru. There is a verse, Yang Brahma Varnena Rudra Marta. For the ordinary men, like we've been talking last night, Para Anapara Vidya. That's a lower knowledge. But for higher knowledge, Yang Brahma Varnena Rudra Marta. I am praying to that God who Brahma been praying to. And all the rest, that God I am praying to. Is that God that this man has prayed to and he became Brahma? Is that God this man has been praying to and he became Vishnu? By that God I am talking about the man on earth. These are attributes of God too. All are confused in this world in the word right and wrong. Even the most learned people are puzzled and find out what is right and what is wrong sometimes. Even the sages and the seers find it difficult to find out these terms precisely. And because of this, we may be doing the wrong thing and we are almost sure we are right. Well, Ved, for the ordinary people, you see, to know right from wrong, truth, is to state something exactly as it is, with inference and so on. It's not the easy thing to know truth. We are only believers. But a sadharan dharam, that which elevates you and takes you nearer to God, that is right. And that's what brings you down and takes you away from God, that is wrong. You call this under sadharan dharam. To walk in accordance with the divine will is correct. That walk which gives you elevation, joy, peace of mind, that is right. And that which brings depression, that must be wrong. So we should try and see our best to find out the wrong from right and the good from bad. Otherwise to that, life will be one continuous shedding of tears if man does not attain knowledge of Atma or self. And the worst place, certain things I like the Mohammedans for, certain things I like the Christians for, because I see it in my book. If you're going to a church, we don't have church, we have mandirs, temple. And two people they are at court and they do not like one another, they can't discuss it to the priest in the church. You come and you sit and you hear the gospel and no wrong or right or attacking one another in a church. Maybe I have a case in the Supreme Court with you and both you will go to the same church. You sit down in different pew. But you don't argue it after Dhyav Shanti and Tarikshivang, all the Shantis in the world stay, we have something to say now, fighting. We go home. You want to carry something from your mandir that for the whole week you can smile, you can laugh, you can drive away depression. And you come back Sunday and you renew it. But if you come here and I divide you to fight on my side and you on the other side and the other side, you come with so much worries from your home and you double it when you're going back. We want you to go with hasmukh chehra. We want you to go in your homes that husband and wife must know their kings, they are queens in their home, and their children are princes and princesses. So blessed with the wealth of wisdom, according to the mantra from the Rig Veda, you shall ever remain vigorous, cheerful and happy. That does not mean that you must not work for money, but don't allow the money to ride you. You must always ride the money. When one attains the knowledge of God, when we say the sins disappear, I mean I am not going to do more sins. It don't mean you wouldn't pay for the past. Sometimes the language is very technical. Oh God, forgive me. Forgive me means, oh God, punish me for what I have done. Just and merciful is the same thing according to the Veda. So God is absolute truth. God is truth, God is beauty, God is goodness. And all life is one. For God, the frog is his child, the cow is his child, the dog is his child. Not only human being. But this is the body you like. You like the dog body, you have a chance of taking it. You like the donkey body, you have a chance to take it according to Punarjana. But you're all my children. And God's laws are eternal and cannot be altered and not separate from God himself. People don't understand that. God can do everything according to the four Vedas. If you ask him to do something that is not in the four Vedas, he can't do it. For instance, if all of us in the whole world should pray and beg God, say today is Sunday, let tomorrow be Saturday, I'm very sorry. Tomorrow will have to be Monday. And if you want Sunday again, wait till next week. And if you are to pray to God and say that things that resemble the sky, bring it down here, he is very sorry. And if you are to pray to God, say, look, the sun is coming from the east and it's nearly 12, I want you to send back the sun to the east. He will say, I'm very sorry, I can't do that. That cannot be done by me. So I am being governed by my own laws. And don't ask me to do something that is against my law. But we know it's not the property of anybody. You can't go and trademark God and preach and expect anybody not to preach God. That is their way of preaching, but if you know that my preaching is superior, you see, people like any dharam that is telling you forgiveness of sins. You come and do something and all your sins gone. But the Vedas are telling you, and the prophecy in the Ramayana too, whatsoever you do, you have to pay for it. And forgiveness means to punish for it. A man steals a fowl and he is carried to the prison for 2 months. Now he is forgiven because he has paid the penalty. So to say, to explain it. Anything wrong with you, you must have to make up your mind to pay for it. Karan Pradhan, Vishya Kare Rakha, the prophecy is there. Jo jasa karai so tasa phala jaga. And I've seen it in the Quran, I've seen it in the Bible. As you sow, so shall you reap. And when the Hindu says, oh God, forgive me, you mean the common, the Devata, the great men of the world. You're asking forgiveness from them for that, but not that God. Griti Kshama. Second, we must forgive one another. Because we are weak, we can be wrong, but God will say, I have to give you the penalty for that. And He's very near to us and He's very far from us. You walk one step towards God and He walks 100 steps towards you. One step backward and He's gone 100. But His grace rains compassion. He is filled on the growth of the plant which we call Mukti and Siddhi, power and salvation. And He is the light of our intellect, the fountain of your inspiration and talent, and all are under His will, knowingly or unknowingly. And He is the home of love, He is the home of truth, He is the home of light, He is the home of bliss, and the home of wisdom. When I say He is the home of all these things, I mean it is there. This is the reason I want to talk to Him. This is the reason I want to concentrate from Him, because I want love from Him, I want truth from Him, I want light from Him, I want bliss from Him, I want wisdom from Him. Take it and put it in my storehouse. In whatever name or form you desire to call Him, call Him. But you must mean Him. And the Vedas are saying He is the home to the helpless, He is health to the sick, He is joy to the weary, He is strength to the weak, and He is wealth to the poor. He is your strength, He is your help, He is your supply, He is your refuge, He is your savior. He is the healer. And we have to offer our thanks to Him. The one God ever lives and loves. He is your sole refuge. Seek Him and rest in peace. And the road to this God is the road to prayer, purity, service and love. I will be very glad if people can understand what is prayer. I don't want you to misunderstand me. When I say Vishwamane or Astomai or Hiranyagarva is not prayer, I don't want you to understand me. You can say it a million times, that is not prayer. But whatsoever is the meaning, if you can put it in here and whole day walk with it, whole day people are praying knowingly or unknowingly. Thoughts are prayer. And prayer divided into two, wrong and right, elevating and degrading. Good and bad thoughts, bad prayer. So we sit in the morning and in the evening, we do jugs that all the meaning of these things must be in me, and my thoughts must be so grooved that whole day only these, the mantras, the meaning of them in my thought. But if you think that Asto Masat Gama you say it with your mouth and you finish, no. That is only to teach us that your thoughts whole day must be like this. All four Vedas are in that one Prabhupada. And people don't know. Only one book has mantra. Even in India, so much mistakes are being made. Only one book has mantra. All the rest are shlok. Shloks are made by man. But there is no living man on earth yet can make a mantra. A Vedman cannot be made by men. They try their best. Some people usually come to me and say they'd like me to make some chaupai and some doha for them. I told them I can't make it. People don't understand. A chaupai has 24 syllables. The first half 13, the second half 12. A doha, their chant and so on different now. We're not going to talk. A doha has each line 24 syllables. The first half 13, the second one 11. Now try, if you learn the syllables, see if you can make one. And they're all perfectly made. Not a mistake in it. They have a thing named Mita. So what is divine love? Divine love is love divine. It cannot be defined 100%. But prayer is the highest aspiration of the soul, and we must continue to pray. Wholehearted prayer and sincere prayer with complete faith in God will achieve marvels. Pray unto the Lord in any way you like. He is sure to hear you, for He can even hear when an ant walking the footsteps. And He prays best who love all creatures, and love is God and God is love. And the divine name is an antidote to all miseries, troubles and sorrows. is the sole panacea for our sufferings and calamities. After Swami Vivekananda, 6 students went to Paramhans and they said, I would like you to show me God. I heard you show Swami Vivekananda God. I would like you to show me God. He had a gallon of milk and told him to sit down. I've been throwing the milk from one vessel to the other. And the boys, they are scientific boys. They have degrees. They say, what are you doing? He said, I'm searching for the ghee in the milk. He say, boys, they do not respect people, spiritual people. He said, you're acting like a fool. He said, how? He said, before you can see the ghee there, you have to do so, you have to mutter, you got to do this, you got to do so, and then the ghee will come up. He said, well, I don't even have to ask you. I don't even have to answer you anymore. The same thing you told me, how I can see God, you go home and do the same thing, you can see it. The ghee, you can see it. In singing, I heard something sung like Swami Shraddhanand in this child's bhajan, and it made me remember a story. There are so many stories that I don't know which to talk or which not to talk. There are two main ones. Let me take that first if time permit. Gandhi and Dayanand. There was an earthquake in Bihar, and Rajendra and all these people now, they decide to go and help the people. And in helping the people, Mahatma Ji saw a lady, a patched sari, fly following her, smelling bad. And he went to the lady. He said, look, the patched sari is nothing. Why can't you wash your sari? And the lady told him, he was dressed. Why? He said, son, he said, if you can't get soap, take a reed. Sun. If there is no sun in the way, you have a soap, not tree, take the leaves and wash your sari. So you finish? Say yes. You say, you see these patches? You say yes. These are pieces I've taken on the streets. And you tell me no. I don't know you. Tell me when I am ready to wash this winter. And when I am ready to wash this sari, which one I must put on? And the whole day, he was sick in his mind. And he has decided from that day, I will wear half a dhoti until the whole of India, the people can afford to wear 2 kurta and 2 dhoti. And from that day until Gandhi died, he used to wear half dhoti. India was so poor when it was taken over. The British has enriched the whole world, the empire through India. The milk cow, the cows that was giving the milk, no milk. And they had to start from a scratch, leaving only good buildings. And India is ranking the 7th greatest country in the world now economically. She's coming back. Population kills. You have to love God, you have to do His will, you have to trust in Him, you have to leave off all anxieties, and you have to take no thought for certain things we take in. He will protect you, He will leaves tomorrow your burden. And that I alone is the real eye which sees God in everybody. The Hindus, they are ritual people only. And they like the ritual part. If you ask them why they like a coconut in their puja, they do not know. but the coconut has 3 eyes on top. And because of the 3 eyes, the same 3 eyes the Vedas tell about, use your inner eye. Don't trust these 2 eyes alone, use the inner eye. Man ki aankhein khol. And if you can read, if you can use the 3rd eye, then you use the X-ray eye, the eye of the soul. We can see God in everything in the world. And if we learn to see God in everything in the world, it's not easy to harm anybody, because you'll be harming God. And if a man should call you donkey, don't worry him, because you don't have a tail. And if a man, if you're going to give me some money today, $1, and I refuse it, it is in your pocket. And if you abuse me and I don't accept it, it's to you. People must learn these things. They must smile because I'm not accepting it. And the Vedas are saying that mind alone is the real mind which constantly remembers the Lord dwelling in all creatures. And that ear alone is the real ear which hears the sacred stories of the Lord, His names and praises. And that head alone is the real head which bows to all creature regarding as the very images of God. And that speech alone is the real speech through which one sings God's prayers. And those hands alone are the real hands which do service to the blessed devotees and to humanity. And that feet alone are the real feet which takes one to satsang, assembly of saints and sages in sacred temple. And then we will know that God is in me and I am in Him. I use these words, I did it last time or the first night. A man is not learned because he talks much. He who has knowledge of Atma, his own self, who is free from egoism, who is free from false desires, building castles in the air, who is free from hatred, who is free from jealousy, he is really learned according to the Vedas. Last night the Kathopanishad is a mantra also. Not by hearing or learning or listening to the Vedas you will know the soul. You have to live a life. And then the invisible soul becomes visible to you. Seeing with the physical eyes, we see the world to be material, merely material objects. Seeing with the world with the mind, one understands it's a mere idea, but seeing with the self, one experiences the whole world to be godly. So what is wanted is the wisdom of Atma, or the Supreme Self. Wisdom alone can bestow everlasting peace. It takes 40 muscles when you are in anger, pull in the body, and when you smile, only 10. And when you are in anger, when you are in all these things, and you pull these muscles, they are making toxin in your body, a poison. And so many diseases, toxin generating. So you make your own sick, you dig your own coffin, you dig your own grave. When you smile, you pull 10 muscles only, and these 10 muscles, they are killing toxin. Every man has his secret sin. All of us, we have some bad ways or the other. And if you know yourself, you will not judge others harshly. You can hide certain things from me, or I can hide it from you, but we cannot hide it from God. So we have to weed out the vices, you have to cultivate moral qualities, there was a weightlifter in Guyana, many years now, but after 1950, because I was back from India. And he went to London to lift weight, a black man, Negro. And he picked up some wrestling. But you know what was happening in India? All the wrestlers used to teach a student, well, they keep off one secret. Then that the other man, he used to teach his student too. That time India was on top. Up to that time, India was on top with wrestling in the world. Gama and all his men. But he used to hide one secret. Then he will get old and he will teach a new student. And he will keep away one secret. At the end, you know what happened? The man from Georgetown went to India and he won all the wrestlers. From since then, Nehru was alive. They had sticks to beat him. He had to protect him and give him a medal. And then talk to the wrestlers. He said, you see the harm in hiding secrets to others? The last man, an ordinary man, a weightlifter, went and beat all of them. Tulsidas, in the Ramayana, he has all 4 Vedas in one verse, in one line. Tulsi ye sansar mein panch ratan hai sar. When I was young, I used to interpret the Ramayana a little wrong too, because at the end, Satapanchan Manohar Chopai. I used to think the word Shat there was 100, and I used to say Tulsidas was responsible for 100 Chaupais. Khat or Shat there means 6, Satapanch, 5 or 6 Chaupais. Tulsidas said, read the whole Ramayana, but take out 5 or 6 Chaupai and walk it in your daily life. And he later went on, as I told you, Tulsi ye sansar mein panch ratan hai sar. If you don't have time, all 4 Vedas, 5 big gem for you. Satya Vachan, truthfulness, Auru, Deenata, humility, Daya, sympathy, Dharam, my duty, Upkar. These are the 5 words that Tulsidas told us. If you take these 5 words, you know all 4 of it and walk with it. These 5 words, if you take. Dayanand was in the forest once. And he saw a lady coming with a dead baby. And she brought that baby in an old clothes, old piece of rag. And she threw it near to Dayanand. She didn't see Dayanand and she'd been crying. And Dayanand, Dayanand didn't take that for anything, because since he was young, he had 2 deaths registered in home, and he studied people who he loved, but he didn't take that anything. But when he saw the lady took that rag and washed the rag and was carried home, he called the lady. And he asked the lady, why are you carrying home this kafan? We call it kafan. He said, I have 2 sons home. I'm carrying this taki, means patch, to patch their clothing. I'm working and I couldn't go to work. My husband died when this baby was in my 3-month-old in the womb. And I'm parting my midday meal. I get 1 meal a day. I'm giving 2 children half. Today they will not eat. It is not written anywhere. That's why Swami cried. But that day he cried for 2 hours. Is this my country? Where they used to put on golden horns on cows? He gave the lady Ashirbad. He said, God will help you. She went home and she told her children. And the children asked, say, where is God? We like to write him a letter. They wrote a letter to God. And they went to the post office. But they couldn't reach the place to throw in. The postmaster said, let me help you. But the postmaster said it was registered to God. The postmaster said, let me see. He said, boy, where am I going to carry this letter? He said, thousands of letters you carry. You can't carry this one for me. He said, can I read it? After reading it, he sent for the mother. He cried also. I said, I am taking these 2 children and I will feed them and send them to school. And those are the 2 children with 2 other men God has blessed through Danan, who has formed the Indian National Congress, who fought for India's freedom. And this, in our society, I'm not telling a man must not get anger, but you must control it. A good man anger, according to the Vedas, lasts for a second. You get it and you control it, it's gone. A middleman for 3 hours. A base man for a day and night. And a sinner unto death. And the anger does nothing to me, the man who is angry over. Whatsoever he has done is done to he himself. So after listening to all these things, we have to be careful. We know, jap se chete tap sahi. Now we know, and we should live a little different, try to conquer it. We always say survey on a day like today. After this yajna, our duty is to mend a quarrel, but not to cause a quarrel. We have to search for a forgotten friend, write them a letter, tell them a nice letter. A spiritual love letter, tell them what you are doing with a nice verse. That is sharing some of your treasures. Give a soft answer to people. Take up arms against malice. Express your gratitude for any little things that have been given to you. Worship your God and gladden your heart. And they have orders. Sarve bhavantu mean orders. Say, Lord, help me live from day to day in such a self-forgotten style, a way, that even when I sit down to do my havan, when I sit down to pray, my prayer shall be for Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, not for myself but for others too. Help us, help me in all the works we do, I do, to ever be sincere and be true. Even if you're sincere and you're a little wrong, it doesn't matter. You will catch up. But if you're insincere, it's not nice. And to know that all we do, that all I do for anyone must need be done for Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, for all. And when my work is done on earth, and the time comes, Swami Dayanand told people that I want 16 people to carry me when I die. People thought it was heavy. That's my last sanskar, the 16th sanskar was a symbol. And when my time, I must forget the crown, I must forget all that I have done here. And when I should face God, I must ask for others too. What they are doing there, will they see you? Others. We must take some time to think, because of the source of power. We must take some time to do some recreation besides you doing a whole week. It is the secret of great youth in you. We must take a time to read a little. It's the fountain of wisdom. You know how I read the four Vedas? For years, in the morning, in the evening, when I am doing my Havan, after the water sprinkling, I am taking one of the Vedas and I am still reading 16 new mantras. And when I read it and I read the explanation, if it suits me, I mark it off and I throw one drop ghee. I'm going to study it later on. If not, I pass it. And tomorrow when I do my Havan, I go to 16 new mantra. And the after tomorrow when I do my Havan, many days I'm not doing it too. I'm not sleeping home, time not. And in this way, nearly all four Vedas I've gone through. And I've studied. And any man can do that too. When you're doing your Havan at your home, read 16 mantras. And if they suit you, mark it off and study it. Take a little time to pray. It is the greatest power on earth. Take time to love and be loved. It is God-given privilege. Take time to be friendly. It is the road to happiness. Take a little time to laugh. It is the music of the soul. Take time to give. Life is very short. Half is spent in sleep. Take time to do a little charity. The soldiers, I told you many times, I don't know if I've talked it here, they're fighting a few hours or a few months or a few years. But the aspirant, our battle goes on night and day in my body. It's a very hard battle and a fierce battle. And it lasts till the end of life. The battle is raging in the field of the mind. Sattva we call purity, fights with rajas, impurity. The higher mind fights war with the lower mind. Contentment fights with greed. Patience fights with anger. Brahmacharya fights with lust. Humility fights with pride. So we have to raise the sword of Om now, and you'll be happy. All are governed here on earth, including me. Since I am touched, I know my time is up, and perhaps you too. It's a little humorous, and I said it a few times, I'm saying it again. Sometimes God listens to your prayers right away. Same second. Sometimes some of you saying, oh Lord, when is going to be finished? And I am finished right away. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
As Pandit Ji has indicated, we have come to the end of our Ved Yajna. Today, we are also observing Raksha Bandhan. And those of you who were in Guyana in the 60s would remember that prior to the film Choti Bahin, even though Rakhi is an ageless festival of ours, it was very seldom observed. The older generation of brothers and sisters, as I remember when I was a young man, the young men of my time used to protect their sisters very much. Today, we see a change because we are living in a different environment. We have seen our young people, especially our young girls, losing respect for themselves, and thereby brothers do not want to interfere into the sisters' affair. They do not want to guard and protect them. And also, those of us who live in strong Guyanese community in New York would know that on Fridays and Saturdays, our sisters and even our mothers cannot walk the streets safely because there are a lot of young men drinking beer on the sidewalk and making catcalls and fresh talk. However, if we always remember our religion and the purpose of this occasion, we would always extend the greatest love to our sister, because in the song Arya Mere, sister is asking that brother that no matter how far we may be, may you always protect me. And it was that movie Jyoti Bahin and its popular song Arya Mere that made Rakhi very popular. I will now ask Bahin Savika to sing that song, and those of you sisters who would like to tie your Rakhi on your brother, please do it now as this bhajan is being sung.
भैया मेरे राखी के बंधन को निभाना, भैया मेरे छोटी बहन को ना भुलाना, देखो ये नाता निभाना निभाना, भैया मेरे राखी के बंधन को निभाना, भैया मेरे छोटी बहन को ना भुलाना, भैया मेरे। ये दिन ये त्योहार खुशी का पावन जैसे नीर नदी का, ये दिन ये त्योहार खुशी का पावन जैसे नीर नदी का, भाई की उजली माथे पे बहन लगाए मंगल टीका, झूमे ये सावन सुहाना सुहाना, भैया मेरे राखी के बंधन को निभाना, भैया मेरे छोटी बहन को ना भुलाना, भैया मेरे। बांध के हमने रेशम डोरी तुमसे ये भैया मेरे राखी के बंधन को निभाना, भैया मेरे छोटी बहन को न भुलाना, भैया मेरे।
Thank you, Bahin Savika. And the third verse of this song says, the sister says, "Oh brother, I have tied this silken rakhi thread on your wrist with a hope that even though this thread can be broken easily, still the protective relationship between us may not be broken for all life. Let the whole world become aware of this vow." To continue with our program, I will now request Bhai Vishnu Mangru to render us a bhajan. Bhai Ramesh will sing first. The bhajan Bhai Ramesh will be singing is in reply to the song that was just sung by Bahin Savika.
बंधा हुआ एक एक दाने में, भाई बहन का प्यार, राखी दागों का त्योहार, राखी दागों का त्योहार। बंधा हुआ एक एक धागे में, भाई बहन का प्यार, राखी दागों का त्योहार, राखी दागों का त्योहार। कितना कोमल कितना सुंदर भाई बहन का नाता, इतना देखो याद दिलाने ये त्योहार है आता। बहन की मन की आशाएं है, राखी बेकार, राखी दागों का त्योहार, राखी दागों का त्योहार। बंधा हुआ एक एक धागे में, भाई बहन का प्यार, राखी दागों का त्योहार, राखी दागों का त्योहार। बहन कहे निरवी तुझे ना बुरी नजरिया लागे, मेरे राजा भैया तुझको मेरे उमरिया लागे। धनु पढ़ाया फिर भी मिलूंगे, साल में से एक बार, राखी दागों का त्योहार, राखी दागों का त्योहार। बंधा हुआ एक एक धागे में, भाई बहन का प्यार, राखी दागों का त्योहार, राखी दागों का त्योहार। कहे हूँ बैनक तेरे राज कहो रखवाला, फिर दूंगा मैं प्यार से तेरे अरमानों के माला। भाई बहन का प्यार रहेगा जब तक है संसार। सारों का त्योहार उड़ाती, सारों का त्योहार बना हुआ एक एक धागे में भाई बहन का प्यार उड़ाती, सारों का त्योहार उड़ाती, सारों का त्योहार उड़ाती, सारों का त्योहार।
Thank you very much, Bhai Ramesh. I will now ask Bhai Vishnu Mangru to render us a bhajan. And in the meantime, if any one of you is willing to render a bhajan, you are willing to listen. Bhai Jagdish, if you are bold enough today.
सताते जो गरीबों को उन्हें ईश्वर सतावेगा। सताते जो गरीबों को उन्हें ईश्वर सतावेगा। रुलाते जो अनाथों को उन्हें ईश्वर रुलावेगा। सताते जो गरीबों को उन्हें ईश्वर सतावेगा। भलाई का भला फल है, बुराई का बुरा
जो गरीबों को उन्हें ईश्वर सतावेगा। तेरे किस ऐत में भोला भजन कर रूप ईश्वर का। तेरे किस ऐत में भोला भजन कर रूप ईश्वर का। अरे नादान फिर यह दम नहीं नर्तन में आवेगा। सतेत जो गरीबों को उन्हें ईश्वर सतावेगा। रुलाते जो अनाथों को उन्हें ईश्वर रुलावेगा। सताते जो गरीबों को उन्हें ईश्वर सतावेगा।
Thank you very much, Bhai Vishnu. Before we go on to the next bhajan, I would like to make one comment in that on this day, every year, for the past several years that I've been associated with this mandir, it has been very touching for me. We are only two brothers. Excuse me for being sentimental. I don't have a sister. And I appreciate what the sisters have been doing to me. I look to each one of you as a sister or as a mother. And I look to each one of you as a member of the Arya Samaj family, to whom I have the deepest respect. That's the way I was brought up, and that's the way I would like to live. I will now ask Bhai Jagdish. Bhai Jagdish, would you sing now? Or I scared you? Pardon me? You will lead us with one?
सुंदरिया कट्टी जाई रे उमरिया खट्टी जाई रे सुंदरिया कट्टी जाई रे उमरिया खट्टी जाई काम कठिन है जीवन थोड़ा काम कठिन है जीवन थोड़ा बंजारे भैया, धूप में देखे तारे, दिन रात बहे पसीना, हम कुछ हाथ न आए हमारे, ओ कुछ हाथ न आए हमारे। हमारी सारी मेहनत माया, हमारी सारी मेहनत माया, ठगवा ठगने जाए, चुनरिया कटती जाई रे, उमड़िया खट्टी जाई रे। कागज हो तो बच लो रामा, कागज हो तो बच लो रामा, भागन बाचा जाए, चुनरिया कटती जाई रे, मड़िया कटती जाई संसार में तेरी लूट मची, और जान में पड़ गई लाले, अब रोक जन्म की चक्की रे, अब रोक जन्म की चक्की रे, संसार चलाने वाले, संसार चलाने वाले। काल पड़ा है रोटी का, और दुनिया बढ़ती जाए, चुनरिया कटती जाई रे, मड़िया कटती जाई। काम कठिन है जीवन थोड़ा, काम कठिन है जीवन थोड़ा, पगला मन घबराए, चुनरिया कटती जाई रे, उमड़िया खटती जाई रे, उमड़िया खटती जाई।
Before we conclude this morning's program, and I ask my secretary to move the vote of thanks and make a few announcements, I would like to inform you that I recently received a letter from Professor Bhaskaranan in which he stated that he was seriously ill for about 5 months. However, recently he has been feeling much better and he has continued with the works that he started, the translation of the Yajur Veda, and it should go to the publisher by the end of September. Those of you who are old enough to remember him, or those of you who were fortunate to be at our mandir to see him, would know that in the annals of Arya Samaj, he would always stand out. He may not be perfect. He may, as a human being, also have his faults. But the sacrifice that he, as an individual, made for the promotion of Arya Samaj, today we are the flowers. He sends his best regards to all of you. I request of you in your prayers to also remember him. If we take a very common thing that we use every day, water. Water in its purest form. No scientist can change. They cannot make it purer. And that same water we use to cleanse all the impurities within and without of us. It's very essential that the body has water. And from time to time, we hear our friends, or so-called Arya Samajis say, if I don't do this for Arya Samaj cannot progress. If I don't go to the mandir, Arya Samaj will collapse. I would like to say that just as none of us can do anything to improve pure water, none of us, no matter who you are, can do anything to improve Arya Samaj. But we can all use what Arya Samaj stands for. Its principles, which are all based on the Vedas, and we can cleanse ourselves and thereby becoming noble people. So please bear that in mind. I will now ask Vice Secretary to move the vote of thanks and to make the announcements. However, I would like to say thank you to all of you for showing us your support for the past 3 days.
For one moment, I thought Baidev was going to do the vote of thanks himself. With regards to announcement, every Sunday at 9:30 we do hold Havan services, and you're all invited. There are some new faces I've seen over the past nights and today. I'm sure I will see them back, but I will have to remind them. Before you leave, the Samaj still is on a membership drive, which we are trying to have as much members as possible, because this year we intend, and positively speaking, to own our own mandir. Your support will be needed. I'm not asking you for any donation today, but you know you will have to, because we cannot progress without any financial support from you. More so, when we go to the bank for a mortgage, they will demand how big your organization is, not only in numbers, but how contribution had been made. And we cannot show them in 1 week we get $10,000. We got to show it over a period of time. So with that positive attitude that we are going to own a mandir this year, don't forget, I'm requesting you, to those who did not join membership yet, to please do so. It's only $20 annually per family. And any individual children over the age of 18, $15. Your contributions are expected, and we know who you are. And those who we don't know, please make sure you leave your name and address with us before you leave today. With regards to the vote of thanks, I do not want to single out any individual so that the others will feel offended. So in brief, I will say thank you very much for the support you have shown us Friday night, last night, and today. All those who have contributed one way or the other, by bringing food, by bringing Persad, by making your presence felt here, and for those children who even contributed by making their little noise. I'd like to say thanks to everyone and looking forward for your continued support. Shall we all stand and sing the Arti?
Om Jai Jagadish Hare Swami Jai Jagadish Hare.
Pak.